Hello, everybody. Welcome to the inaugural episode of 8 is Enough. That's hashtag 8 is Enough. Strive for 9. My name is Ira Bowman. This crazy lady right here is my wife. Crazy because she married me. And now she knows. So 20 years together. We've been married quite a while. Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
You're the co-host, so I'm not welcoming you. You're just stuck with me. Here we go. Y'all probably know me. Many of you anyways know me because this is primarily on my channels. But my wife is a business owner as well. She's been a business owner a lot longer than I have. In fact, she owns a Scentsy business. She's been doing it for 5 years, right? 5 years?
Yeah, 5.5.
Over 5 years, and she's a director at Scentsy. So we're going to talk about a few different types of things on the show. We have 8 kids, hence the title, 8 is Enough, because my wife is a quitter and won't go for 9.
So you got to tell them, though, that I started saying 8 is enough because you started the hashtag strive for 9.
No, I've told people.
Okay.
That's fine. Whatever. She's a quitter. I'm not. It is what it is. So we have 8 kids. We'll talk about parenting stuff and challenges. In fact, I was staring at my 18-year-old freshman in college who's home for winter break. And I said, you ever feel like somebody's watching you? And she goes, yeah, because you're watching me right now. And I said, yeah, it's because every time you're home, it amazes me how fast my money flies out of my account. You can see I was doing my books today. And this is her what do you call that? Co-conspirator? I don't know. Whatever that word is.
No.
Yeah.
You said, oh, you need that? Go get it.
Yeah, they do. They tag team me and drain my account. Let's see. We got Joe Stepke in the house. Joe is my LinkedIn bestie. And actually, Joe, I'm excited to tell you, I got a project in the works for you, buddy. It's going to be amazing. We will talk about it more in depth tomorrow. Joe and I do a show on Saturdays called Saturday's Cup of Joe. So looking forward to that. Thanks for being in the house. And I've invited him and his wife, no pressure, to join us as guests on the show sometime soon. So hopefully we can get you in. Nicole, nice to see you. Hello. I'm Ronnie. Nice to see you as well. Thanks. You're watching us on YouTube. We appreciate that. Hello. Let's see if I can figure out who that is, because we have somebody that is, that's Manesh. Manesh, I can teach you how to fix that if you want to get rid of that LinkedIn user spot. And Anthony's laughing. And Jared, thanks, Jared. Jared's my buddy. If you need your profile on LinkedIn to pop and sizzle and you want some help, of course, I can help you. But Jared is also another person out there who can help you. And he does a great job. Just go profiles that pop or find Jared and connect with him, and you can learn more about that. Joseph is in Indianapolis. Well, Noblesville. Nobody knows where Noblesville is. Indianapolis is just fine. Just like I say I'm from LA, only because most people don't know where Moreno Valley is. It is what it is. Thank you very much. That's more a testament to her not quitting than anything else. But I got nowhere else.
I stayed quiet on that.
Nicole says, oh, no. Good night, my friends. Good night and good evening. Okay, so here's the deal. What is the show? What are we going to be talking about? Well, obviously, we're going to tease each other because it's what we do.
I want to know what we're going to be talking about, too. Because
yeah,
I asked what we're going to be talking about, and he just laughed at me.
Well, here's the deal. You got to pay attention to the show announcements. In the show announcement, I said what? We've been married 20 years. That's kind of fascinating. We have 8 kids. People are intrigued by that. So we'll talk about that kind of stuff. So parenting and marriage and all that stuff. Cool. We'll have some banter. That'll always be fun. But the show itself, the topics, the two primary topics, I wanted to get into business to consumer marketing because that's something you do a lot. The MLM seems to be this taboo topic. I want to kind of demystify the MLM because they're MLM, multi-level marketing, and pyramid scheme are not the same thing. But a lot of people seem to have that like stuck in their head, kind of like, well, I don't know. I don't want to make an analogy that doesn't work. So I'm not going to just think of one off the top of my head. I'll think about that and I'll come back to it. But they're different. And so Sensi has an MLM form of payment, right? That's the way their structure is set up. And so are companies like Avon and Tupperware. These are not bad companies. There's nothing mischievous about them. They've been around for a long time. They take really good care of people. In fact, my grandmother sold Avon, and so did my aunt, and my sister, my mother, and one of our good friends who's like family to us, Laura, in Las Vegas. She sells Tupperware. In fact, one day she came over, and I spent like $450 on Tupperware.
He did.
Well, we didn't have $450 to spend, which is really funny, but we were kind of broke. But I love Tupperware. I don't know why. I just do. It's one of those things.
He does. It's weird.
I love Tupperware. Weird. And I don't want the cheap knockoff Ziploc version either. I want the real stuff. So you were a brave one. Nicole, you don't even know, but that's part of what this show is. So, it is what it is. So we're going to talk about Sensi. We're going to talk about, and then of course, there's all the things that I bring to the table on my other shows. I've been in outside sales for 20 years. So you're talking to a married couple with a lot of sales experience, but we have different sales experience because my wife really is more of an expert when it comes to selling to direct consumers. Facebook advice. One of the things that a lot of my clients struggle with is how to market themselves and how to reach people effectively on Facebook. My wife is probably better at it than I am. So, we'll talk about that. And you guys have questions, we're going to answer those as well, or we're going to try to. So a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of business to consumer marketing, a little bit of business to business marketing, and a whole lot of fun. That's the goal. That's my buddy, Jared. Jared is up in Wisconsin. Jared, what's the temperature like there today? My mom, I put pictures up. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to my health journey, but I'm trying to get in better shape and take care of myself in 2021. And I actually started in December of 2020. So I'm doing these trail hikes, 2.5 miles up, 2.5 miles down to the top of a summit right outside our house. 2.5 miles that way. And on one side, you can oversee Paris Reservoir, and on the other side, you can see the Inland Empire. It's really beautiful. Well, I took my daughter up yesterday, and we were wearing kind of light clothing, and my mom was like, "Man, it must be nice to be in that kind of weather." And I said, "Well, when we started, it was 72 degrees, Mom, but it's chilled down now to 64." And she said, "Yeah, our high of the day was like 39." So she lives in Utah. So Jared just said it's like 20 degrees. I don't. No, thank you. Yeah, that is what it is.
That's a no-go.
And then there's our buddy Nick Dorsey, who knows all about Strive for 9. So Nick and I have been friends since September of 2019. We actually met on Follow Me Friday on September and Follow Me Friday. And then right at that time, I was helping Tina Oliver spin up her it was a compliment event called Friday Night Lights, and I was helping her spin that up. So Nick and I and Tina had a lot of fun on Follow Me Friday and Friday Night Lights. And anyways, when he was moving down here to Arizona, he stopped by in March and we got together. That was before the world closed down, and that was a lot of fun. I'm not sure what the period means, but I'm sure it means something. 27 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, I could handle that, I guess, with a jacket, as long as there's no blowing snow.
You were saying it was freezing the other night.
Well, I got a confession. I don't have to have a bald head. I actually shave my head. A lot of people think I've lost all my hair. I haven't. I shave it. In fact, it's actually not even that bad, because if I let it go for 2 days, it's kind of like, well, where's it thin? When it gets longer, it gets easier to tell that it's thin. But if I had what do they call that? A buzz cut. You know what I mean? Like that, it still looks pretty full. Anyways, I don't know. Maybe it does to me. My forehead is getting a little higher, in full disclosure, but I'm not as young as I once was. I've been married 20 years. I have 8 kids. What do you expect?
Just like I'm gray.
But yeah, you won't know if I'm gray. You won't know if I'm gray. But here's the deal. It's colder. Like I walk around, in full disclosure, I walk around. Well, I don't usually wear this one. There's a story to this too. This could be for my buddy Nick. But I walk around like this probably 80% of the day. Inside.
You look like a little bit of a dwarf right now.
Thanks for that. Okay. And this is what I mean by the friendly banter. So when you see me picking on her, you know it goes. Arrows go all day, every day.
I don't know why.
Now, full disclosure, I typically wear this one. I wear this one more. And I don't know if Allison DeFord is on the show right now, but she was on a meeting with me earlier. Kurt Anderson and Damon and Jeffrey Graham and a bunch of us, Jeff Long, we were all in this meeting because we're putting together a, what did they call it? A co-op, a marketing co-op, and we all have different specialties. So who was it? Josh from P80. Anyways, he puts on a Pittsburgh hat and he comes on in his Pittsburgh beanie. Pittsburgh, 12-4, they're in the playoffs. They won their division, blah, blah, blah. So they're giving me crap. He specifically said, hey, Ira, when are those Raiders playing? And I said, yeah, we don't play again until April and we're going to blow it like we always do every draft. Anyways, so I had the Raider one out. But
they don't play till April?
It's the draft.
Oh.
In April. They don't play again really until September, but
oh, okay.
They do have preseason starts in August, assuming that everything's.
I didn't realize it was all done.
Nick wants me to bring back the YouTube look. You know what that means? So that means, remember the hair? And I had the little thing going on for a while in the front. I forget what that was all about. But anyways, Nick would tease me every time he saw that. But now I updated my YouTube picture. Thank you, Nick. Yeah, I'm a beanie and a sweater at 70. I don't see anything wrong with that. Great name of your show. Love what you're doing on the show. Thank you. We hope it's entertaining. I mean, that is the goal. So let's do this. A lot of you are familiar with Bowman Digital Media. You see it all the time. My wife's professional life. She spends most of her time dealing with the craziness of our home, but certainly she spends. So let's talk.
That's one of the great things about MLM.
Yeah, you can do it whenever you want. And it's been a little bit easier, I think, for you. Well, we haven't really talked about the challenges of 2020 for our house personally and your health, but I think it's a little easier because I'm home. You can do whatever, whenever. You don't have to worry about coordinating with me.
Not necessarily, but
well, that's my impression of it. See, this is why we're
but then
we're gonna have marriage therapy right here.
There's that he's in office and meetings, and then when I need to go in and do stuff, it's not always.
That's true. Stay out of my office, even though you share it.
So
right. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about this. This is Sensi. Now, in full disclosure, let's just start this from the very beginning. This was year 2015?
It was 2015.
Okay, 2015. I'm going to actually...
Why did I start?
No.
No.
Before that.
Oh, the many years before.
So, It was 2 different times, right?
3.
There was H2O, blah, blah, blah.
There was H2O at home.
There was the...
Cookie Lee Jewelry.
Yep.
But before we were married, I did try Mary Kay as well.
Yeah, I don't count that one because that was pre-IRA. Okay. I only care about is the thousands of dollars that I wasted in product that never got sold. And we still got some Cookie Lee stuff, right?
I remain silent on that.
Yeah.
I think the girls are pretty much...
Our girls have pilfered it because, it's jewelry. But so here's the thing. Like, I'm not opposed to MLM. For us, it didn't seem to be a good fit because...
I didn't get it. I didn't understand it.
Yeah. It's more about recruiting than it is about selling, although it takes both. You really need to be...
Well, there's challenges that you face that if you're not aware, you're just going to give up.
Yeah. And everybody's going to hit a wall. I don't care who you are going to hit a wall. It's just like sales. So, and we have some questions. I'm going to come back to those in a second. But in full disclosure, 5.5 years ago, whenever this was, 2015.
July of 2015.
My wife comes to me and goes, I want to try this Sensi thing. You Did you get introduced to it at that party? It was a Cookie League
No,
party that we
I had known about Scentsy for years. And actually it had been on my wish list for like 3 years.
The products, not the
products.
Yeah.
Before I eventually got some at an event I had trying to get rid of Cookie League.
Right. So we had this thing in our house. It was kind of cool. It was almost like a garage sale, but it was in our backyard.
Yeah, it was inside and
outside.
And outside, and I had different vendors come, and it was a fundraiser for our missions, for our church.
Right, and it was really cool. So we had, I don't know, 10, 12?
No, it wasn't that many. It was maybe like 5 or 6 of us.
I don't know, but it was cool. Anyways, so everybody set up a table, just like you would at a trade show or something.
Yeah.
And then everybody invited people to come over, and, people bought what they bought. That's really, I think, where Scentsy entered my perspective, because it was Cynthia Wireman, right?
Cynthia Wireman, yeah, who's now a customer of mine. Which
so
is funny.
she was a friend of ours at church.
Yeah.
Right. So
she came.
Laura came too, right?
Yeah, Laura came.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what was kind of cool. So, anyways, a bunch of different people in different MLM companies all set up, and anyways, so
we got products. You bought some, and then because there was like party credits, she gave me more, and that's how it entered our house.
Yeah.
And then I had another party after that. We were frugal. We were tight with money. So to spend money.
Frugal because we weren't making a lot. Let's just be clear. The Bowmans don't come from a long line of, deep pockets. We have struggled financially. Sometimes people say, well, how come you guys have moved so much? One of the reasons why we moved so much is because as our family grew, I was chasing the jobs that could sustain us, but we weren't wealthy. We're still not wealthy, but we do better now than we've ever done, honestly.
Yeah, but at that time, to buy Scentsy, to spend money on it. So I understand where people come from, that, it's not, something that they want to spend money on or can. I only got it through parties. And then I was really frugal about how much I used.
What the heck is that? That is a crazy comment, Jared. It didn't make a nice vanity URL for you, that's for sure.
So
it says call me bald one more time. Does your wife ever get a word in? Mm-hmm. She's been talking.
Anyways, nice to meet you too. So I only ever got it through parties. And then finally, and actually it's funny, Cynthia Wireman, when I start looking at joining, it was funny because actually we were struggling that year again financially. We had medical bills up the wazoo.
That's a common theme.
That's been a challenge in many years. And so I had been in ICU that year, and our daughter was born with a kidney issue and spent a week. We almost lost her actually in a week old. And so, anyway, so we had a lot of bills, thousands. And so I thought, I was in a place where I said, I can't go out and work. We had 8 kids in the house, a baby. I'm like, what am I going to do? I could go work at night waiting tables, but he's never going to let me do that. He would go do it before he'd let me. So what could I do? And a friend said, why don't you join Scentsy? I said, no. And like a week later, somebody contacts me. Her name's Laura Manabog, and she contacted me and said, I've seen, because I posted, I'm on Facebook, and I posted about, I think, because he was working at Denny's at night. Was I working Denny's?
Yeah,
you were working
Wait,
Denny's.
this was in Texas.
Yeah.
This was before.
He was working at Denny's at night and trying to make extra money. And so she knew that. She said, you know what? Maybe you can make some extra money. We have a special this month. Oh, I love a special.
We do like specials.
We do like specials. And it was my birthday month, because I was like, well, to go spend money in joining a business that I don't know how to make money. Well, my mom was sending me money. Said,
and it wasn't a ton of money.
It wasn't. It was a $49 join special. Yeah. And my mom was sending me money, like $50. I thought I could join for that.
Full disclosure, I wasn't worried about the $50.
Yeah.
What I was thinking in my mind was all the Cookie Lee inventory that we had. And in case anybody's curious, the reason why I sit in front of this damn thing every day is because behind me, there's thousands of dollars of products on my shelf in this room.
Okay, but
full disclosure,
I get a lot of product credits and stuff too. So it's not all.
Anyway. Yeah, we're not paying full price.
Yeah.
But
anyways, so, I brought to him, and he reminded me
very clearly.
He's about the jewelry that was sitting in the garage.
And the cleaning supplies from H2O, blah, 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 whatever.
Which we could use. I never spent a lot of money.
I think we did.
But that was one of the problems with Cookie Lido is people wanted to see the jewelry.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the things I said with Scentsy. It's like, well, you get these testers.
Yeah.
And so you can smell them. Now, you're not going to see every warmer and everything, but you can smell those. And it's not a lot of money, though.
The only reason I bring all this up is I want people to know I was not for it. I was against it. Not that I don't support my wife and I doubt her abilities. It's just, it didn't seem to work. But one of the things that you got to think about when, in my opinion, if you're going to go MLM, if you're going to join a product, and there's lots of advantages. Let me just talk about that real quick. What are some of the advantages of joining a multi-level marketing company? So instead of starting your own business like I did with Bowman Digital Media, and I've got to create my own products and I've got to create my own advertising materials. I've got to have the infrastructure, everything I've got to do from scratch. I've got to build myself. Well, when you join MLM, one of the advantages is for $50, my wife bought in, she had professional graphics. She had all kinds of different products. She had distribution, a website, distribution, all those things are taken care of. And on I hate to say all she's got to do, but she's got to do two main things. She's got to focus on sales because you do have to sell, and she needs to focus on recruiting because she needs to build her team. That's pretty much universally true with any multi-level marketing, type of distribution system, so those are some of the advantages. But
that's one of the big differences between pyramids and multi-level marketing is I don't just bring people on and make money. I have to be selling.
We talk about that all the time.
I have to be selling. There's minimums for me to even get my bonuses.
Yep.
And
bringing people on too doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They have to sell.
Yeah. If I don't help them to support them and helping them succeed, it does me no good.
Yeah.
So
and they have to recruit too. I mean, there's ways to get paid. There's bonuses and performance accelerations. All that stuff is all true. But the fact is, you can join Scentsy today and make more money than somebody who's been in it for a long time if you outwork them and if you work smarter than them. And that's one of the main differences with pyramid schemes, which are illegal. Yeah. The first few people in are the ones who make all the money, and everybody else is basically being taken for a ride. That's the main difference. So, I've never been more soul aligned to business than with Healthy World. Right. And that's how she feels about Scentsy. Scentsy, I don't know if you caught this in her outline of how she got started just a minute ago, but that was part of it. Was it was a product that she really liked, and that enthusiasm, you need it. Like when you hear me talk about what I do for a living, whether I'm making a video, creating somebody's website, or helping them build their digital audience, for their social media, I geek out about it. I love it. You can see it. My wife will sit here and she'll tell you, that's what makes me happy. And that's why I'm doing what I do. Because I could go get a 9-to-5 job for pretty much any print company in the world. I have 20 plus years experience and I'm good at what I do, but I like this more. I like this better. And so that's why I'm doing this now, as opposed to, selling wall wraps or vehicle wraps or building wraps or some type of print for sale. So anyways, we're going to show now. This is Alicia's, her personalized Scentsy website. So I didn't make this. This is a Scentsy, sanctioned,
sponsored,
thing. But she pays a little fee and she gets this website. But you can come on here. You could join her team. You can see all the different products, and it's continually updated. The security, it's all taken care of. She doesn't have to worry about
payment processing, all that.
Any of those things that I have to worry about. In fact, I was doing my books earlier today, and it's one of the things that irritates me, honestly. All these transaction fees, every time one of my clients pay me, I get dinged by the bank for the transaction and by QuickBooks, because I use QuickBooks for the transaction. So I'm paying, it's almost like getting double dipped. I'm getting hit on both ends. But I really like their website. It's easy to navigate. They have all kinds of different products. You can learn more about, us. Here's one of the pictures that's kind of small. I don't know why it's so small, but probably because they want to save space, but that's all right. But anyways, there's you can read about us. There's the Scentsy Club. There's all kinds of different things. You can get the catalog, host a party. What am I missing here? Anything? Become a consultant if you want to join her team, right?
Yeah, and it's pretty user friendly, but
I think it's user friendly. I think
Yeah.
it's visually appealing. I look at websites all day long. I think this is a pretty good one.
Well, and you can even, if under scents, you can find like what category of scents you like. So if you like citrus scents, you can, go under citrus, or you like bakery scents.
What are these things? I see these in our bathrooms.
Those are fragrance flowers. So those are like reed diffusers, but prettier. So there's oil in the glass jar. There's a wick, and that's actually a wooden flower, a very like a pressed wood, and they're handmade.
I've never touched it.
It's actually a amazing process. I've seen a video, and the oil goes up, and it's a light scent. Though I had somebody say that it was overpowering. So it depends on how. I'm pretty immune to scent because I have it so much. You need to smack me in the face with it.
Pop quiz. How many Scentsy
stop
dispenser things? Because I don't want to say
warmers. How many warmers?
Warmers, but we have more than just warmers.
Oh, yeah, like the girls have
in our home. I mean, full disclosure, 3,420 square feet. Okay.
Now I don't even put wax in all of them.
6 bed. Okay, so let's only count the ones that are active. Let's not, because she's trying to.
So, some of them are decorative, and they're pretty. You don't have to even put scent in them.
Don't avoid the question, Alicia.
Well, I haven't counted recently.
I'm going to count next week. I'm going to bring you a live.
Well, you don't want to count right now because at Christmas time,
she has more.
I have a lot more. We did count in Manteca when we lived there that we had 15 on a regular basis.
I think we have more than that. I go around the house at night and turn off all the lights because everybody in my family, except for me, knows how to turn them on. The switch goes both ways, but people in my family don't know that. So I go through every night and turn off I'm telling you, every single light switch.
I'm counting about 15 right now.
I think there's more.
Well, right?
We'll find out.
Yeah. That are active. So some are light only.
This is one of my favorites. Dumbo. One of the things I never thought about with Scentsy was all the cleaning products. We use a lot of these products in our house. In fact, in full disclosure, most nights I do dishes in our home. We have kids. The kids have chores. Okay, this is kind of fun. We'll get into this.
Lately, you've been doing your dishes.
Well, gust or waves.
Yeah.
But I do more dishes around here than most people. It's like, the kids are supposed to do it. We have the kitchen chores broken down into stations, and there's 5 numbers. So the youngest one isn't doing it. The oldest 2 are basically out of the house. So we've got child 3 through 7 doing chores, at least doing the dishes at night. But I almost always start it. There are times where I don't, but most of the time I do. And sometimes I finish it all the way through, but I usually do at least. It's kind of weird. This is a quirk of mine. I like to do the dishes that go in the dishwasher. I like to wash them before you put them in. So when you look at them, you can't tell if it's been run or not. We have another system that we use for that. Anyways, but it is a little bit of a quirk of mine. I get it. And
if there's spaghetti sauce, forget it. He's doing dishes that night.
I will do it all because I don't like the tomatoes to stain on the scrub brush.
Even though you can wash that.
And I know that. But I'm a little weird. It's okay. My mom is on the show. Hello, Roberta. That's my mother, in full disclosure. So anyways.
Cleaning products. So yeah.
Yeah, cleaning products. But it's one thing about the Scentsy dish soap, which I do like, but it doesn't put out the bubbles. I like the bubbles, I gotta say.
Yeah, but there's enzymes that actually help break stuff down.
Yeah,
you can actually clean grills.
The one thing I notice about the Scentsy soap, the water, you create the water to dip stuff in. It doesn't get as dirty as quickly, which is kind of cool. Like sometimes the cheaper soaps that we use.
I've had a couple people recently, your brother being one, that's joined because of the cleaning products.
Yeah.
He's more into the cleaning products than
I like the cleaning products.
Like our counter clean is amazing. It's actually, I use it on carpets to get stains out. It's awesome. You use it more than just on counters.
Well, I like the warmers too. I just, I'm weird. Like I look at a light bulb on and I want to turn it off.
He's worried about the
power.
The power.
Because I pay the bills.
Even though it's like a nightlight.
It's like nothing, really. You can run the whole thing.
I
for
worked
a
it out
year
one
for like
time.
$12
It's not,
or something. But anyways, I still get irritated because it's all the lights.
but I have to tell you, I think the more you turn them on and off, the quicker you go through bulbs, which then costs you more in the long run.
No, because I don't see that bill. That comes out of your pocket. That's not my pocket. And welcome to the Bowman house,
You know
everybody.
what? And that's just, you know what? Dishes, turning off the warmers. You know what? Fine. You know what? You pick your battles, right?
Right.
That's not
Right.
You know what? If you don't like how I squeeze the toothpaste, we'll have separate toothpaste.
And we do. And we
do.
have for 20 years. And it's why we're still married. Because I would have divorced her a long time ago over toothpaste.
And that's why I rinse the dishes really well when I'm doing dishes too. Or somewhat.
Was that in your old office?
I think he was talking about the products. They used to have the books and stuff behind you in Manteca.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is the comment that we're looking at.
He misses that.
I miss that desk. What's funny about that? So we were looking at the houses and stuff. One of the things I actually asked them to take that, it was a built-in desk. I asked them to take that out because we were going to use it as a bedroom because we needed every bedroom. And there was a giant loft. So what we ended up doing was splitting the loft in half and then making that into a bedroom and leaving that. But I missed that desk.
And you didn't like it though. Even once you start using it for a while, you
Well,
didn't
the
like it, but
the
then
prob-
you missed it.
Yeah, the problem with it was there wasn't like drawers. Lots of shelves, but no like drawers. So I had all this like the pens and notepads and things. It's like normally you have a place to put all that, and I didn't want to put a bunch of stuff on top of the desk because it was ornate. But then I ended up basically having to cover the surfaces. But
In my sense, he was off to the side there, so you didn't see it.
yeah. So it made going live the shots easier. But now with this background, it's not as bad. Actually, this will probably be the last time you guys will see this particular setup because I've got a new one that's supposed to arrive tonight by 10 o'clock.
Not that he's stalking the mail. We got ding dong ditched earlier. And he went out then looking, where's this package? After we had already figured out there was nothing there.
Like a kid on Christmas morning who wakes up with no presents, like, what happened?
Our house is like that a lot. My daughter was waiting for her phone the other day, and I've never seen her run to the door. I don't see her run very often, but
we're a little different than this. So most people, it depends on what it is, but there are things that I like the new better than my wife, right? Like I'll move every other year. I don't care.
I sometimes just like the good old.
Yeah. So it depends on what it is. The one thing that we definitely are more traditional like that is on recipes and food.
Oh yeah.
My wife is always looking for something new, and I'm like, stop it, woman. We got 50 different things, and just pick one of those. I'll be happy. I've had them before. I like them.
But I get bored, and we don't eat out that much. So like,
Hi, Bonnie, by the way.
I want to try new things, and like I just got gumbo starter mix, and I used to use.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the heck is that?
I used it in Texas, so I actually went on like the HEB, which is the Texas grocery store, to get
best grocery store chain ever.
I had to do a whole search to find this stuff because I've been in the mood for gumbo, and I remember making like this creamy gumbo thing recipe they had. And so I ordered it, and he's like, what is this? Like, why would we have this? And don't serve soup for dinner either.
Oh, I can't
Soup
stand
is
that.
not
It's what comes before the meal. That's the anti-meal. Or wait, not anti, that.
Pre-meal, the appetizer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which we had soup last night, so. But it was a hearty soup. It had gnocchi in it.
Until I got
chicken.
to scrubbing that stupid pot, which I finally got clean at midnight. Oh my gosh. So I scrubbed this thing for like 15 minutes, and it was like there's like a layer of burnt. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to let the hot water soap like soak into it after scrubbing it for all that time. And then at midnight before I went to bed, I was like, all right, I'm going to tackle this thing. And so I did. And I felt like I should have had some confetti falling from the ceiling, some streamers.
Angels singing the choirs of heaven. Yeah.
Clean pot. Yep. I don't like to go to bed with stuff a mess. Anyways.
Yeah.
Scrub Daddy.
Oh, we've had Scrub Daddy. My mom's bought those.
Yeah, I could use one for sure.
Do you remember those?
I kind of remember having some stuff. I don't know if I'm thinking of the right thing. So I don't want to say for sure, but
you know, the other thing that actually works really well is the barkeeper's friend. So I use that, especially on that greasy film when you fry something, and there's sometimes like that almost like sticky film.
yeah.
That's I go to the barkeeper's friend. So you're getting cleaning tips. You're getting all sorts of stuff with this.
Yeah. Well, happy wife, happy life. Me cleaning definitely makes my wife happier.
We should talk about my Christmas present in our conversation last night.
I have talked about your Christmas present a little bit on a few things, but yeah, we could talk about it. So
one of the best presents, top 2, actually.
No, you have to tell the sewing machine first.
Oh, well, that's not, I don't consider that in the top 2 presents.
No, I understand that, but this is why I have anxiety about buying you presents. First of all, in full disclosure, for those of you who don't know, my wife likes it when I buy her like house kind of stuff because it makes her life easier, which I understand, but it's not sexy. You don't go like, oh, that's something just for me to relax, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, now if I buy my wife a spa package, she ain't gonna be pissed about that. So I can do some of that stuff.
Well, and what's the silliest present that I have fallen in love with? And that wasn't sexy either. I'm wearing them right now.
Right. The slippers are the best. And that was a throwaway gift. So one year, this was 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
2 years ago, I think.
Yeah. So I was at Walmart doing like a little shopping spree for my wife for Christmas. And I wasn't able to do that this year because obviously, you know, with COVID stuff, everything's closed down here in California. So I bought everything online, and my wife, her Amazon list, you know, she had like one killer present, but it was super expensive. And then the rest of it was kind of like, meh, that doesn't feel like it's enough. And then she asked me, she came in one day and she's like, what's our budget? Because I usually set a budget, and then in full disclosure, I typically go over. But anyways,
follow it.
But she led with 500 or 250. And I was like, well, I wasn't thinking that much.
No, I think it was 700 or 250.
But I wasn't thinking that much. You know what I mean? I really wasn't. So I was thinking, in all honesty, I was thinking like $100, but whatever. Okay, so
I had expensive. You have expensive taste. There's expensive things you want.
So I wanted, and the thing she got me was really cool. She got me a sound bar for the TV so I can hear.
Subwoofer, is that what
the subwoofer? Yeah, it's good. So, anyways, but the reason why I have anxiety on Christmas presents for my wife. One year, gosh, was that 20 years ago?
No. It was like 10.
Where were we living? Because I kind of thought that was Page Street.
Oh, no. I had that old sewing machine
she
for
said,
so long.
No.
Oh, no.
No. She's going to sing the TikTok song.
No. I think that was probably about 10 years ago. Because I used that old sewing machine for many years.
Check this out. See, this is the kind of advice I get all the time from people. And in full disclosure, Joe has been married 20 years. So
I think it depends on the woman.
Yeah.
And the spouse probably, or the husband, on what is acceptable.
Yeah.
But if there's something I want and we
don't normally spend $700 on each other.
No.
Although when we finish this story, we might.
Yeah. I think he's been there more, like he'll give me $100 limit and then go spend $500. But
I've done that lots of times.
But there's things I want, and we're not going to spend money on them throughout the year.
Yeah.
It's not part of the budget. Then
go back to being frugal and basically broke all the time.
Yeah, but I think it was about 10 years ago. And he was so excited.
Oh, I was excited.
He was so excited. You're never going to guess what I got you. You're going to love it. And I looked at the box and I said, it's a sewing machine.
And I was like, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
I was so pissed in my mind. Like, how the hell did she know that is a sewing machine just because of the box? And it's not like it's. So some boxes you see and they like can contort it to the shape of the thing, and it's like, well, that's obvious, that's a whatever, right? But this was just a rectangle, nothing,
And I'll tell you, it's because you knew I wanted a sewing machine.
She needed a sewing machine. Her sewing machine was like duct taped.
My sewing machine I got when I was like 7, 8, and it was used when I got it, and so I needed a new sewing machine. But I still love my good old standby.
We still have it.
Yeah, my kids want it.
Yeah,
they want it like when I'm dead. That's
because they made things in the 70s to last forever, and they make stuff now to last for 5 years. Like we have a TV. I think it was 3 years old. We just replaced it because it was dying.
Yeah. But so I knew you knew I wanted it, and then the size and the shape.
Yeah. But anyways, scarred for life, right? So now I try to be less obvious. And in fact, I don't even want her to see the dang box. I just, it's Christmas morning. Here it is. That's what I really want. So she had a concussion for most of the last 3 months of 2020. And then she got COVID. So like when the present showed up, I got to that door first, got it in here in my office. It was underneath my desk. And I don't know that she ever saw the box until I wrapped it, which was really good. So
I was out of it.
Yeah.
I was out of it. That COVID, I look back and I'm like, I was in worse shape than I even realized at the time. I think it was a blur.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was what I got her, was one of those iRobot 7 Roomba things. I keep calling it Zumba, but the Zumba is the exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah. I call it a Zumba. His name is Chuck. And that's a whole nother fun. I like to rhyme, and I'm not very smart, so you can figure out the rest.
Yeah. So no, but I've been wanting the Roomba, and he didn't understand it.
No.
He was like, why am I going to spend so much money on this?
That's the dumbest present ever.
But we moved into this house. Okay. And this is full disclosure. I have always wanted
no carpets
or very little carpet, because
we have
all the cleaning and having to get the carpet cleaner out. And I like clean floors. Well, the floors are sort of dark too. And so they show everything.
They're super dark.
But also, I didn't realize like how much stuff my kids leave all over the floor. And like, I like to walk around barefoot.
They're
and it's
slobs.
Disgusting.
They're slob. Our kids, for as neat as I think I am, and I know my wife is, our kids are the opposite. It doesn't bother them. Smells, textures, whatever. I mean, they are so lazy.
Yeah. So this house, the floors are constantly dirty or even dusty. Like I just see all the dust. I actually see it because it's not in a carpet. And so I'm like, there's no way I can't keep up with these floors. And our kids eat like Cookie Monster. So I think less goes in than
right. They're skinny. They're only skinny because half of it's going on the floor. Chucky, he eats well.
Yeah. And so I wanted this thing, and I hoped it worked well.
Burger King, baby. I love Burger King. And, hey, the warden.
And so, hello, Aunt Becky.
That's my Aunt Becky.
And so I wanted the Roomba because I figured, well, I can run that and be doing other stuff. And so last night he even admitted,
oh yeah,
it's actually pretty nice.
He's won me over.
He told me how there's the mop one.
There's a mop one, and
he's like, you know what? I may start figuring out that I love this so much that maybe a mop floor would even be greater.
I think we're gonna get the mop. I've been thinking about this for the last 24 hours. I'm like, I've sold myself. I need the mop. Because look, the floor isn't clean until it's mopped.
Right.
And our kids don't mop.
Even when they say they mop, I have to go in and
these are kids that we have to tell to shower.
Not all of them. Not all of them.
Some of them.
Though our son did spit on the floor and use his shirt the other day to clean it, where I pointed out a spot, because he said they would only get ice cream.
Master motivator
if the kitchen was super clean
in a specific amount of time.
In a specific amount of time. I've never seen these kids clean the kitchen.
They worked together.
And yeah, there wasn't all the bickering.
No, they actually
it wasn't. That's not my job.
They communicated. They expressed their ideas out loud, and it was heard. And there was some teamwork. That was the best ice cream I've ever had. And actually, it wasn't even that good because I think I told some of you guys the other day, how you spell love or show love to your kids is TIME, right? So I took one of our 12-year-olds to the store with me to buy ice cream. And instead of buying the big bucket, because last time we bought the big bucket, it was chalky. I'm like, okay, we're going to spend the extra $1 and get the better stuff. So I'm buying these. Are they quarts or I don't know. The little boxes, right? Whatever those little boxes are. We're getting those. And my daughter's there. I let her pick. She picked lime. I don't know. Weird kids. So I blame that on their mom.
And that was sherbet.
Sherbet, lime sherbet. So I said, okay, if you guys have lime sherbet, you can have a Sprite. And we don't let our kids have that much soda. We're not big pop.
So they can make a Sprite float. Yeah.
Yeah, so they can make a Sprite float. So I didn't do that the first time, but the second time, because we didn't finish all the ice cream, we were able to make two different nights out of it. Anyways, the second time around, I had the lime with Sprite, and I was like, it's not nearly as good as the orange with vanilla.
Yeah.
So now I'm probably gonna go to the store.
And I couldn't believe what he came home with either.
I came home with great stuff. Look, I came home with Oreo.
See, I'm just not.
It's cookies and cream.
I'm not a cookies and cream fan.
I love it. It's not my favorite. My favorite is chocolate chip mint, which I usually like 99% of the time I will come home with that. Right. So there's a standby. But I was looking at because we were buying a different brand because I was spending the extra $1 per box. So they had more flavors. And I thought, ooh, there's all these flavors. But one of our daughters has a peanut allergy. And so I was like, okay, well, anything with peanuts, I'm not going to get it. So that eliminated like 60% of them. And then I was looking at, there was some that I know my wife would have liked, but I thought my wife would have liked the one I got. What I ended up getting was it called double brownie?
Something like
that. Double chocolate brownie fudge. My wife likes hot fudge.
I'm not a big chocolate ice cream person. And it was chocolate and chocolate and chocolate. And see, I'm more like vanilla with like hot fudge, whipped cream. Oh, I'm all about that. But the chocolate on chocolate on chocolate, it's a little matchy, as in Peter Rabbit, our kids.
Yeah, we just watched that. So Bonnie, what is our secret? First of all, my wife, she has the gift of mercy, and
forgiveness.
That's a real thing. I'm not even trying to make light of that. That's a real thing. I've made a ton of mistakes. I've been pretty transparent about it. We actually have a page dedicated to marriage recovery. If you guys are interested, you can check it out. It's on Facebook. But honestly, I
haven't been real active on it though.
Yeah, but honestly, a lot of it comes down to, you got to figure out there are things for both of us that are like, that's going to start a fight. You got to know what those are. You got to identify that. And then what I've tried to do more recently is just figure out how to express my love for her in the ways that she wants. You know what I mean? Like, here's an example. Last night, we have assigned spots on our couches. And my wife always sits in my spot. I mean, every freaking time.
It used to be my spot, but I gave it to you.
But she likes to be cold and blow the air conditioner. And the spot that she gave me before is right under the vent. So I'd be sitting there with a jacket on and she'd be in a t-shirt. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Why don't you sit here where it's cold and I'll sit there where there's no air blowing on me and I could probably tolerate a little better. And I got to tell you, I don't regret that. For me, that part has been awesome. However, the spot is right in front of the TV. Now, in full disclosure, we have a 50-inch TV. It's not hard to see from any of the spots on the couch. And her spot has a table, and my spot has a table. And there's a light.
But I also like to lean right instead of leaning left.
That's her political.
I didn't even think about that.
Anyway, she does lean right. But for me, that's like, so last night, I sat in somebody else's spot next to my wife, let her put her feet on me even. And, we won't talk about what I didn't do because that might be a little bit TMI for this show.
Oh, yeah.
But I kept my hands to myself.
Yeah. So, but usually he'll walk over and say, get out of my spot.
And I'll say it just like that. Yeah. And then if she doesn't, I will tickle her.
Yeah. That's how he gets me to relent to whatever his wants are.
Yeah. It's one of my tricks. So there's that. But I mean, that's really what it is. It's communication. It's forgiveness. You're going to be together with anybody for 20 years. You're going to go through some really hard times, and you're going to have a lot of good times too. I mean, my wife and I we probably have about the same amount. Honestly, if we're recounting our life, we've had some really good times, the births of most of our kids, except for don't ask for about the tennis ball story. Was that Marlena?
That was Marlena. Yes. My first baby.
And you let me touch you again after that.
We'll have to tell that story someday.
All right.
We'll have to remember.
Next week, we will tell the tennis ball story. It really is pretty
awful.
Good. It's pretty good. I look at it. It's kind of cringeworthy.
Women will hate you from now on, and that's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay.
That's all right. I'm not trying to date anybody, as I've told lots of people.
Yeah, but I think letting stuff go.
And Becky got her Scentsy today.
Oh, yay!
And that's a cool story because my wife, was this last week or the week before? It was December still. She was really close to hitting her incentive, which, it's like performance-based incentives. And she put, I think it was $17 or something.
Yeah, I was really close.
So she made a post on Facebook and said, hey, if anybody needs anything, it would really help me out. And my aunt comes on and she goes, hey, I'll take whatever you want to get you to the incentive.
Yes, it was $17 because I could get her 3 bars for the 17. So.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So anyways, thank you, Aunt Becky, for that.
Yes.
I love it. Our daughter has a peanut allergy as well. We have a couple of them actually that have the peanut.
No, she's the only one with peanut. The other ones have, he's fine with peanuts. They have what I've now found out is what they call an oral allergy. And it's more with fresh fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
So it's actually like
it's annoying.
It's a reaction to the protein or something.
They get fat lips, and
it's actually like the pollen, the protein from the pollen that gets on the stuff. I don't know, something like that. And so it's not as deadly. And so like they can eat it.
You and Bonnie could be friends.
But they, well, a lot of women I think like it sort of colder. I don't know. Well, no, I think it's either or.
We do. This is what I was trying to tell people about banter. The banter will be floating. Look, if I like you, Joe Stepke's about to step through his microphone with an amen here. If I like you, I will tease you. It's how I.
It's not always funny.
It's how. No, I didn't say I was good at it. I didn't say I won't cross the line.
Sometimes
and I won't.
Not. It does.
And I won't be obnoxious with it. I'm certainly will do all those things, but it is. So Becky Hall is Anthony Norman's mom. If y'all know who Anthony is, he comes on LinkedIn quite a bit and engages with me. That's his mom. We lived together for a while. It was my 8th grade and 9th grade year in school. Anyways, long story. Life is complicated. Long story. But anyways, we lived together for a while. And, so in some ways we're like brothers. In some ways we're like cousins. And, anyways, we know the inside scoop of how we were raised, right? We were both raised in similar fashions, even though we have different experiences. And in full disclosure, my cousin is African-American and I'm obviously not. So we're not exactly the same. And we had obviously different experiences a little bit because of that too. But he'll tell you, in our family, if you were sensitive, we would fix it quick. Like, you know what I mean? You couldn't grow up being oversensitive in our house. Although, I don't know. Sometimes people say that I am sensitive and I just don't admit it. But I'm not. I have no feelings. You can't hurt my feelings. I don't have any.
No, he'll tell you he doesn't, but he's.
What is it? It's impressive. What is
so that? We have spots on the sofa. Truthfully, the kids don't really have spots. That's a little bit more of a free for all.
Yeah, no, I don't care where they sit. And
I've got him and I have.
I've got bean. Okay, so we have 2 sofas. If you're trying to imagine like our living room, I don't know why you would, but if you are, we have 2 sofas that are against the wall, and then we have it's just a single chair,
like a soft chair.
Yeah, it's almost like a recliner, but it doesn't recline. It's just, you know what I mean? It's a single spot. And then we have the what do you call the foot thing?
Ottoman.
The ottoman, which is like an island.
Which is mine.
Yeah.
I have to sit with my feet
up. So a lot of times somebody's draped over that. Even last night, our 6-year-old was flopping.
I think there was 2 of them on
She was flopping like a fish. No, it was just Debbie.
Was it?
And Debbie was all over that thing, and she was annoying me. And then usually there's somebody sitting in our dining room. There's no like separator wall between our dining room and our family room, I guess is what you really call that, right? Where we hang out. So we have the high top chairs. So usually there's somebody sitting at one or of those, or maybe 2. But then sometimes there's a couple just laid on the floor. We don't have carpet anywhere in the house, like a laid carpet anywhere in our house, except for in our master closet. That's the only place there's carpet. But we have like the area rugs out, and we have an area rug. So a lot of times there'll be 1 or 2 there. And we do have bean bags, so people can sit on a bean bag. And
that's what I tell them when they start fighting over who's on the sofa.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, that's where we sat. My mom even sat on the floor a lot.
I sit on the floor sometimes. Yeah. I like it.
I don't like sitting on the floor, but
yeah. I don't mind.
I remember my mom sitting on the floor and I would lay on her lap and fall asleep. Oh, good memories. So
My aunt is laughing. My aunt could tell you stories about me too. Like we all have stories that we don't want to share. Everybody's got something.
And I don't believe stories that you say about Aunt Becky. She's too
really
sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
I'm gonna tell you.
I don't know any really bad stories. I just know the nickname that you had for her.
Warden.
Warden.
It's a term of endearment, but it's apt. Don't get it twisted. Aunt Becky will put you in line quick. I remember. Yeah.
It's because you were trouble.
I was trouble.
A warden is in a prison. Oh, because
Same
you
taste
were
in music, yeah.
kind
of. We have. We kind of do. We have some overlap. So country music is our overlap. My wife is like Chicago, and
I like a lot of 80s and soft rock and love ballads.
Yeah.
And
nah.
I was putting on Peter Cetera, Glory of Love. I don't know why that song popped in my head the other day. And so I played that a few times and he's like, what is this garbage? And he laughs because I can't remember anybody's name that sings songs, but I like some of these older artists.
Oh no, she does just of the garbage. Like who was it that you pulled out of here?
Alanis Morissette.
Yeah. Like really?
And I wasn't even a huge Alanis Morissette, but like I remember that from high school that Chicago. Oh, we love.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you and Bonnie could be friends. We have a lot in common. It looks like.
Yeah, even
I like some of the Chicago stuff.
Our oldest daughter and littlest daughter, they have a favorite Chicago song, and that's their song. And the one day it was so sweet. Oh, so sweet and sad. It's Little Debbie.
Now we looked this up.
She was off to college. Marlene was off to college.
We looked this up.
Yes, Karate Cat Kid 2.
Yeah.
2. Marlene was off to college and Debbie was missing her, and she put on the song and she just kept. She was singing it over and over with tears down her face. It was the saddest, most pathetic.
Everybody needs a little time away. Yeah. Anyways, and Joe's old. Just so you know, like Joe is 50. He's old.
Honey, we're not that far.
I know, but I'm not in my 50s.
It's good stuff.
No.
Joe has good taste.
So, do you remember like when heavy metal came out? I'm talking, Poison and Bon Jovi and all that stuff. So my sisters, who are a little bit older than me, they had like their room. Remember, you would have posters in your rooms back then. So for me, it was all Michael Jordan and Bo Jackson.
Mine was 90210.
Yeah, that's why she married me. You can't tell, but I have really long sideburns. I used to before I started shaving my head. So, but my sisters listened to the heavy metal stuff. I grew up listening to country music. My parents both played country music. At that time, that was the point in my life where I was actually living in Utah. So I was in 5th grade, 6th grade, and 7th grade. That's when I was there. So that impression, because I hung out with my older sisters, they were older. The rides, the drives, everything in that little town. If you're going to do anything, you had to have a car because I was living in a town of 500 people. So we had to go to Nephi, which is a town of 3,000 people, to do anything like go to Burger King. You know what I mean? Cruise Main Street. That's the kind of stuff that we were doing. So listening to that heavy metal stuff. So I like fast music. In full disclosure, that's when I started drumming. Some of you know that I'm a drummer, percussionist, whatever. Anyways, that's where I started. My sister, Carrie, who's a couple years older than me, was playing drums, snare drums, and practicing all the time. And I was like, I could do that. And it's kind of cool. So that's where I started drumming. And that lent itself to the heavy metal. But I was never into soft rock. There are some, like, I like the power ballads. So I do like the Bryan Adams of the world.
Michael
Bolton. Yeah. Full disclosure, when I was living with Aunt Becky and my grandparents, TW is what we called him back then, Anthony, he ran cross country. And so I started to run cross country just to hang out with my cousin. And my dad had started to date what I actually call my mom. Now she calls herself mom too, because I have my mom, Robin Baxter, who's on the show watching, or she was. And then I have Elaine. And that's where my dad met Elaine, their very first date. You remember the Oakland Hill fires? Do you guys remember back then? when the Oakland Hill fires were a thing. My dad was on a date with my now what I call my mom, even though they're divorced now. But anyways, they were on a date. They were at a date watching a Michael Bolton concert. So they got me this tape. Cassette. I know. Anyways, of Michael Bolton. And so I used to plug that in my Sony Walkman. Remember those? And go running in the Napa Hills.
Exciting.
Yeah.
I used to like Michael Bolton.
I still know all the words to Michael Bolton.
I used to, as a girl, I dreamed that a guy would sing those
Mine was
songs
Batman, and I still have Posters Day. Wait until you see what I'm doing for you, Joe. It's not Batman, but I'm going to say that it is Batman inspired. It's got that element to it. Brother, you're going to fall out of your chair. Wow. We've killed an hour already.
It's because you're with me, babe. Time flies when we're together.
It does. Okay.
That's how he's stayed married 20 years. It just flies. Truthfully, I don't know. It doesn't seem like 20 in many ways. It doesn't.
I mean, in full disclosure, 10 years ago, it's been 10 years now. Wow. 10 years ago, we were on the verge of divorce. Right there. Anyways, you can, if you put work into it, you can get over your struggles. But we had our challenges. So in a lot of ways, it's not like we've been married 20 years. It's like we've been married for 10 years twice, because our marriage is a lot different now over the last 10 years than it was the first 10. I was a much more selfish person. I'm just going to put it that way. So let's see. What is she going to say? I never engaged in Friday Night Lives. We pulled me and Kuda's interesting red of a conversation. You're signing off for just eating dinner now. Good evening. We're about to sign off too. And Friday nights for us are going to be like leftover pizza nights, because
I'm in here, so I'm not cooking.
5 o'clock. Well, now it's 6 o'clock, but we start at 5 o'clock Pacific time, and that's where we live, Pacific time. So, but we're having baked spaghetti, which is another story. We will. Yep. I know you can't wait, brother, even though you don't know what it is, but trust me, I don't get too geeked out about graphic projects before they're done.
Okay.
Because you gotta see them, you know what I mean? But this is gonna be really cool. So we will be back next week. Look, we just started to scratch the surface. There's stories next week. We're gonna tell a tennis ball story, which, trust me, if you're a guy, you're probably gonna cringe, and if you're a woman, you're probably gonna want to smack me. So this was in the.
I'll have to think of other wonderful.
Labor
stories.
But look, this was in the first 10 years, so then they can get an example of pre and post.
Oh, wait, gotta tell that story too.
Well, that's kind of related. I mean, it's the same kind of idea.
Is.
Anyhow, whatever. I am happy that we're doing this show. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Remember, if you haven't seen the full graphic, I'm just going to go to a little different graphic. In here, it's subtle, but if you look real close, you can see the strive for 9 in there. So this is also a little bit of a battle.
And can I say that I don't like this image? So I don't.
This image is awesome.
I look itchy with a B.
My wife thinks she looks a little catty there, and I think she looks amazing. But in full disclosure, okay, we did not. This picture is not us standing next to each other, even though it comes across that way. What it really is it's me doing my Photoshop magic.
And that was a goofy picture when he was taking my picture. I was just doing all these.
Yeah, it was just some throwaway stuff. She was like pseudo doing a photo shoot. It was glam. It was fun. I love them. I've got more. Wait. I've got more.
Oh, I'm gonna have to. Don't make me do the it's Ira's fault type thing.
I'm sure we will get into some of that. I'm sure that will happen. But I thought it's perfect because, the 8 is enough is a retort to, and she already talked about this, and we can get into this more in another show, but, it's a retort to the strive for 9, which I had built up a significant following on. It's not just one of those, hashtags that I did it one time and let it go. This was a campaign. I was actively pursuing strive for 9, and some would say I'm still pursuing. But 8 is enough is a retort, and it's like, hey, buddy, you know what I mean? She's putting her foot down. So
I'm getting old. My body's
well, and our youngest is 6 now. It's not
start that over.
Yeah, I don't know that we do.
In college.
They're out of diapers. There's no bottles. Like, I get a raise every time they stop wearing the diapers and they stop using the formula, and
we don't have any of the strollers or none of that anymore.
It's easy to go. They can all strap themselves in the seat.
Yep. Get in. Let's go.
Yeah. So there's lots of fun stuff about it. Anyways, we will be back next week. We're going to, again, if you have questions about Scentsy anytime, of course, you can reach out to Alicia. If you're not following her already on LinkedIn or on Facebook, go ahead and send that request.
I guess I'll have to start getting more active on here.
Yeah, she'll start to do that. Honestly, I'm more on LinkedIn and she's more on Facebook, but that's where we feel comfortable. So that's where we hang out. Although I do spend more time on Facebook than I used to, and she does spend more time on LinkedIn than she used to. So it's kind of cool. So send those requests, hit the follow buttons. If you have any questions, reach out. We're going to be talking about MLM opportunities. So if you are in another MLM and you want to share your product, we might bring on some guests and, maybe like a 5-minute spot and let you talk about your experience. That would be kind of cool. We have invited Batman and Catwoman is another way that I refer to Joe and his wife on to be our first official guest. So hopefully they'll take us up on that. And then if you have any questions about social media in general, right? No matter if you're business to business or business to consumer, between the two of us, we have a lot of experience with both. So we can help you potentially. And then, we're
or
here.
any random fun questions could be fun too.
Yeah. Like, why do I make my wife have her own tube of toothpaste?
That's another story.
Yeah. But
20 years, we've got some stories.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say before we go?
No, this has sort of been fun.
It's been fun.
I was nervous. I'm like, ooh, this isn't my thing, but yeah, it's been okay. It's been some fun people.
It's been fun. We tried this on a Follow Me Friday.
Yeah, but I still had my concussion and I didn't think about it. I couldn't look at the screen.
She was getting
vertigo.
vertigo. So, anyways.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, that's Alicia. I'm Ira. Thanks, y'all.
We're the Bowmans.
See ya. Strive for 9.
No, 8 is enough.